This is Straight Talk with enlivening Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the Preacher Man.
Well, welcome tonight with Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and my friend and brother, Shanan E. Jones. Shanan, I know you're going to come on a little later on, and I'll welcome you again. After we have Brother Freeman on, and we got Brother Freeman on, and he's going to be talking about his book, Vainglory and Lust and Death. And he's going to be singing his favorite song, Crazy. And then we got a song called Crazy. And so, Shanan, how's things going for you, man?
Man, everything is wonderful. As we say, if I was doing any better, my name would be Greg Fann. That's the, that's how it is, man. I'm living the high life and enjoying it.
Well, I know that you had went on vacation, had a trip, so we went home a couple of weeks because you was out, out of town, and I didn't want to do the program without you. Actually, really and truly, I was saying to myself, we're gonna have to take a couple of weeks off. couple weeks off.
I'm honored. I figured, I said, he just move on, get somebody else and keep it going. I'm honored that you must have been, the microphones must have been in the shop or something, because you would have kept going.
No, I decided that I needed a break too. I needed a break.
It's a good thing to take a half to a whole day to yourself.
It is, man. We've been doing this program together since 2021. We started doing it together in 21, and actually 20. We started in 20 because I started doing the program
right before COVID.
Right before COVID. Right during the time of COVID. I started doing it in 19, and then I brought you on as a co-host in 20. So we've been at it ever since then. 4 years. We've been at it ever since then because Trump was on his way. Trump was on his way out, and we did the bye-bye Trump thing.
He bought the truck, and ain't that something? They done bought him another truck trying to send him back.
Oh, man, trying to send him back.
Trying to send him back. Oh, my goodness, great. Hey, listen, in all seriousness, many years ago, there was a journalist that did a documentary, and I forget his name right now. It's Lewis. But he talked about the hate that hate produced,
mm-hmm.
And it was, in my estimation, it was a misplaced misunderstanding of the Nation of Islam that he was doing. But I thought the title made a lot of sense to me. That I don't think it was applied well the way that he did the documentary. But the title made a lot of sense to me. The hate that hate produced.
Mm-hmm.
And when you produce hate, then it comes back to you.
Sure.
So folks are saying that, some folks on the MAGA side are saying, well, this hadn't happened to Kamala. But if you really look at it, Kamala has not put out, neither Biden, neither Obama. And really, we ain't had too many people, nobody that I know that's run for president that has had violence in and attacking, accusing and attacking people in such a vile and way ever. I've never seen that. So I believe that does have a boomerang effect.
It does.
It
does. And as you're talking about the hate, beget hate, if we look at what's going on, we're looking at what we see is that I'm going to make this statement. It's a blanket statement, but it's a true statement. Donald Trump said that he's running because they want to lock him up, and he wants to stay out of jail. That's why he's running. He's not running to make America great as he said he is. He's not. He's running to save his own skin. So we can talk on and on about this in terms of Mr. Trump and what his real end game is. It is to keep himself out of jail. And so he's saying anything that he can stir people up and get people to hate, move back toward hating people based on the color of their skin, based on their ethnicity, based on their race, based on their religious beliefs, race, based on anything. And then you have him talking about cats and people eating cats and people eating dogs. And you got him just throwing all kinds. Now you got him saying that Putin is supporting Kamala Harris to help her win the race. Now that's his friend. He calls him his friend. He could call him if he get to be president, he could stop the war with Ukraine and Russia overnight. But now he's saying that Putin is helping Kamala. I mean, he's just saying every and anything to stir up foolishness and mess. And people are buying into it. But like-minded people, like-minded stuff, people who stir up mess. Hey, and that's the truth for what we see, for what's really, really going on. But listen, Shanan, we're going to go ahead and get in the program, and I'm going to go ahead and let bring Anthony in, interview Anthony, let him do his thing and sing his song, talk about his book, and we'll meet on the other side. How about that?
And Bishop, before you do that, let me just tell you that was Louis Lomax and Mike Wallace did that. And it was a documentary on Black nationalism, focusing on the nation. I disagree with the premise of what they did, but again, the title was I believe powerful, and I think it's apropos to now.
Right today. All right, we'll see you on the other side. Don't forget to like us. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to make comments. Don't forget to share, and tune in each and every Sunday, 7 p.m. on WIGO, and check us out as we go around the world with Straight Talk. Well, today I got my classmate Anthony Freeman on Straight Talking Around the World with yours truly, Greg Fann, preacher, man. Hey, Ant, how you doing, man?
Greg, I'm doing great. I've anticipated this moment ever since we were on WYDB about 20-something years ago.
Oh, 20 years ago? It's been that long?
Yeah, 30, yeah.
I think it's about 30 years. Closer to 30 to 20.
I didn't want to tell your age.
It's all right, because you tell mine, you'll tell yours. Anthony and I went to high school together, and of course, we graduated from Booker T. Ellis Washington High School in Atlanta, Georgia. And Anthony was a part of a singing group, and Anthony and the guys, they did a wonderful job. Anthony has always been gifted as a singer. But he wrote a song, and they will listen to the song a little bit. It's called "You're Driving Me Crazy." It's going to be a #1 hit for Anthony. And also he wrote a book called Lust and Vainglory. So Anthony, what are we going to do? I'm going to play a little bit of the song, and then we'll come back and talk about your book. And you can talk about what inspired you to do that song. How about that, Nat?
It sounds like a winner to me, Greg, man.
Squeeze you all night long, it's gonna be so right.
you heard the song. He was singing that to the love of his life. She drove him crazy. And what inspired you to do that song?
Well, to be honest with you, Greg, I have a long history of singing. You know, I used to clean up my room and sing and practice songs of old James Brown, Jackie Wilson, and so forth and so on. And when I got in high school, I didn't want to play football. I didn't want to go out for track, but I found myself going out for chorus. I got into chorus in Miss Pete's class. You remember Miss Pete, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, in Miss Pete's class was also 3 other young men: Eric, Daniel, Dwight Franklin, and Sylvester Carlisle. And well, during break time, we would go down in the bathroom, and you know how young people do. They go in the bathroom, just be kicking it and everything, and somebody will strike up a note, cover, and next, the other guys chimed in, and oh man, I tell you, the harmony was just bouncing off the walls of the acoustic, and we thought we had arrived. Other guys said they liked us, and we need to do something with that song. Just so happened there was a Future Families of America talent show coming up at the City Auditorium, and so we started practicing for that, and we started doing some routine, just like the Temp would do, and some of the other guys. Next thing you know, on the night of that talent show, we did our best and we came in second place. The only group that beat us was a girl group called the Epics. They were from Price High School. Oh man, they were out of sight. They were doing a Peter Franklin song, "Ain't No Way." And Greg, I kid you not, young lady that would hit that high soprano, ooh, she would hold that note even longer than the record. I mean, everybody was wow. We talking about back in '68,
right?
So you can imagine people weren't used to seeing young talent perform that.
Well, you talk about that in your book, Lust and Vainglory. I was talking about the song, but that you just produced. But you're talking more about what happened in your book, and
that was part of the inspiration.
Okay.
But now the other inspiration was one day I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I had just seen the doctor for whatever reason, and I was coming down the elevator, and in coming down the elevator, that's when that song was birthed. A part of that song was birthed. Oh, honey, I'm free. The hook.
Right.
The hook birthed coming down that elevator. And so as I went on, I added to it. We never know how songs are going to be birthed. You might be in your sleep, you might be dreaming, and that other song I did, I Want to Make It Before the Sun Goes Down, it was birthed in my dream. And I had to wake up immediately and write it about 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to write it down. So, just like people are birthed numbers, they hear numbers and they have to get up and write that number down. That's the way God gives us these inspirations. But it behooves us to write it down and to capture it. He may give you a word from the Lord. It's up to you to write it down, to solidify it in your mind. Faith comes by what? Hearing, and hearing by the word of God.
Well, let me just kind of interject in terms of the song. The song is beautiful. It's a beautiful song. You're driving me crazy. If the viewers and listeners of this program wanted to get a copy of that song, how would they get it, Anthony?
Yes, well, they can go online. It's on about 31 uh, media play, 31 websites, Spotify, YouTube, uh, uh, you you know all of
The different Apple,
yeah,
Amazon, the music. Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Shalimar,
Right.
Denzer. I can go on and on. Spotify, YouTube, uh, with YouTube, iTunes, YouTube, all kind of tunes. You know, they got out there.
You
Okay?
know, one thing that I'm just really just, we joke and tease all the time, but I'm really proud of you in pursuing what God has given you, God given talent that God has given you, because you are truly a gifted singer and truly a man of God, as a minister of the gospel. And truly, I wanted for people to hear that song because it was a message. You know, when we came with the message was in the music. It wasn't like this rap stuff, right? But the message was in the music, and it was all the music was about loving, and those kinds of songs that moved us, even songs
Yeah,
that moved us in the movement, right? So there was a message in the music, and of course you're just gifted and talented, brother, and and you guys have been very fortunate to be able to do the things that you do have done. Can we slip back into the book just a little bit, because you do have a book and people may want to get a copy of that book, Less Than Vainglory. What caused you to title it Less Than Vainglory?
the Almighty God. I was working in my yard one day in Little Rock, Arkansas, and the Lord had blessed me so much in terms of a house. I had my first starter house in Little Rock. I had my first starter truck. I had a Chevy 2 truck. I mean, I had been trying hard. I could never get a truck. And I prayed and prayed, and the truck just didn't seem like it wanted to come. And so one day I needed some furniture moved. I had bought some furniture and I needed it moved. This guy who I thought was my friend, he offered to move the furniture for me. Well, he brought the furniture to my house, Greg, and I asked him, well, how much I owe you? I thought maybe he won't say $2 or $3. Well, Greg, he said I owed him about $50. My ears flew up just like a copper spaniel. $50. And but Greg, I'm a man of my word. I went on and paid him, and as he drove off, I raised my hand. I said, Lord, as my witness. I said, this will be the last time I pay somebody to deliver my furniture. I'm getting me a truck. No, God blessed me with a truck. Within that month, I got my first truck. And as I said, I was in the front yard, and the Lord spoke to me. He said, Anthony, I've given you all these blessings. He said, but you have yet to testify of me about how I saved your life when you were 8 years old. And I said, I know, Lord, I'm going to tell people. I'm going to share the testimony. I say, but if I do share it, I'm going to have to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, Lord. That's who I am.
I'm here now with my partner, Shanan E. Jones. We had Anthony Freeman to talk about his song and his book by former classmate, and now we want to talk about a little politics now. Shanan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I was out and about this week and saw all these people walking around with blue and white on, and I would imagine it has something to do with Walking High. Is that what was? Was I correct in that?
You're absolutely correct. 100,
On Monday afternoon?
yeah, 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. You're celebrating 100 years as being the first African American high school in Atlanta. So
Absolutely, and definitely 3 is that Washington High is the first.
is the
But
first.
then it goes on that Benjamin Elijah Mays is the best.
Well,
So,
I'm on. Let me tell you something. Let me just tell you this right here. It can't be the best when it's on the shoulders of Whiten High, because all of the people that led the way went to Whiten High, so there could be a Benjamin E. Mays High School. Thank you so very much, sir. All right, so let's move on, son. You're not going to win that discussion tonight. Listen, let's talk about what's going on with the democracy being on trial. And I was sharing with you earlier before we came on about the young lady who had wrote the book to talk about how many Congress people and how many senator people we have now, and how many people are being represented by one congressional person, over 700,000 people, which that's really a whole lot of people for one person to be representing. But democracy is on trial. It is a test. It's a trial. It's a test, and it's been tested and been doing good. But now they want to do away with democracy. But people are saying, well, if she wins, she ain't gonna be able to do nothing. If she wins, democracy still is gonna not be what it ought to be. But Shanan, you and I both know, and you talked about this, and I mean, you helped educate me on this. When we talked about on the federal level, all those judges on the lower level, like Eileen Cannon and others that were appointed by Donald Trump to these judicial positions, that which has held up his misdeeds, and appointing people to the Supreme Court. Mitch McConnell held it up so Obama could not appoint somebody because they had the votes in the Senate to do that. And then they had the votes in the Senate when Trump got to be there to appoint his nominees. So Shanan, I want to talk a little bit about the educating people about voting down ballot and the importance of voting down ballot.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely, unless Kamala Harris or Donald Trump are going to come and fix a water main problem that happens on your street, or some ordinance or something that affects you directly. Folks have to understand that politics, just as the saying goes, all politics is local, and it drills down. So there is the importance of the federal and all of the federal laws that are made, the federal judiciary. All of that is extremely important at the top tier. But then you start to move down to state levels, and there are certain regional things that we have to look at. There are state concerns, and then you move from there to county concerns and things that are going on about your county. The president or your senator is not going to come and talk about cutting the grass in the right-of-ways in your community, or to talk about the millage rate that is affecting you directly. So then that moves on down to the county, to the municipal area. And the municipal is extremely important. That's your immediate government. That's right. When you walk outside of your door, that's the government that's concerned with what happens to you from the moment you walk out of your door till you put your feet on a city street. And let me just give an example of the importance of this. They are doing major construction right in front of my home, and the way that my home is situated in the city of South Fulton, which used to be an unincorporated area, and in 2017 it incorporated into becoming a city. This major construction, Bishop, that they're doing, Microsoft has bought. They're putting a data center in, and the homes and the cars around me looks like we are been like you think that we just got through going on safari or coming through the Sahara Desert. People's houses are covered in red clay dirt, and but that area is Union City. It's not the city of South Fulton. It's Union City. Now, I can't call the White House about this problem, and so I've been saying, okay, well, let me reach out to my city council person about it. Well, it's Union City. Across the street, Union City. I'm in the city of South Fulton. So my council person is really powerless other than the fact that to raise this issue, to her counterparts at Union City. Well, we had noticed that a water truck, Brent Scarborough water truck, had been coming up and down our street, two of them at a time, and all day long, making at least 40 or 50 trips a day, literally, not hyperbole. And they were taking water from the fire hydrant on my rural street in the city of South Fulton to carry it out, to do whatever they're doing in Union City, down the street and across the street on this construction site. I got on the phone. I called my city council person. My city council person said, send me pictures immediately. I did. Immediately, she got the city manager on the phone. City manager reached out to the police chief. This is local government. And this is how government works. And it works on every level. Now, if I had ignored the fact that my city council person was on the ballot and didn't vote for her, it'd be very hard for me to make a call to be able to deal with a crisis situation, a bread and butter crisis situation that's happening right in front of me, Bishop, if this person does not get elected. And so it's important that we vote. We look at that ballot, and everybody on that ballot affects every area of your life, from the top tier to what someone would consider to be the minutia, but what I would call to be your absolute foundation.
Well, I mean, you just laid it out. You really laid it out, because people need to understand, vote for in every race, from the federal level to the state level to the county level to the city level. Vote in every race. Well, I don't know nothing about these people. Well, get to know who they are. Don't not skip over a name. Vote in every race. I was at an event today. A newly elected official said that he wanted he's elected and he wants to be able to guide us. And he was talking to a group of preachers. I said, whoa, you don't guide the preacher. You don't guide the preacher. And see, that's the other thing. We need to hold them accountable, because they don't understand. They think we work for them, but they work for us. And we have to hold them accountable. Once they're elected, we have to make sure they are held accountable to what they're doing in terms of we agree or disagree. We have to hold them accountable. We can't just be electing people because they're popular, or we like them, or they're our friend, or what have you, but they're not doing anything that betters our life. And when they're not doing things to better our life, or protect us, or those things that we deserve as taxpayers, then we need to hold them into account and hold them accountable. And that's where I am, is hold elected officials accountable on every level. Once we put them in office, we have to hold them accountable to doing the things they say they're going to do and the things that we need for them to do. And Shanan, I want to appreciate, that was a good analogy, because what you did when calling you elected official, you held that person accountable to you, because they do what? Work for you, the citizen, the taxpayer. And that's what people need to understand. We don't work for them. They work for us. Well, Shanan, I think one of the things that you said tonight, man, has been really, really telling. And we got to talk more about how politics work, and how and they don't teach civics in school. We may have to start having a civics lesson here on Straight Talk. On Straight Talk.
I think I still have my 7th grade civics book somewhere. I certainly no kidding. I certainly have my 9th grade civics book because that class was so impressive. Mr. Garner at Mays High School. Never forget it. Don't ask me who taught me math. Don't ask me. But Mr. Garner made civics come alive. And little did I know that years later it would intersect my life in my professional life so much. But it really intersects each and every one of our lives. And he just really made it come to life. So I would love for us to do that, Bishop. And I think our listening audience and our viewing audience would really appreciate it as well.
Well, listen, next week when we come on, we're going to have a lesson in civics. Hey, and listen, civics 98, remedial civics. So we'll be back next week with more and more and more right here on Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. And if there are topics of interest you want us to talk about, we are here just for you. This ain't been nothing but Straight Talk around the world with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. Don't forget to like us. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to make comments. Don't forget to share on our YouTube channel. Listen each Sunday at 7 p.m. on WIGO 1570 AM on your AM dial. Tune in, won't you? And invite a friend. And if you want to be on the program, just go out to Straight Talk News 1362 at gmail.com. Well, until next week, may God bless you and heaven smile upon you. And this ain't been nothing but what, Shanan? Straight Talk. I know y'all didn't get me.
Guest on Straight Talk. Email Greg Fann at FANN922 at Comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shanan Jones and Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.